Hey everyone, this is Kayleigh and Immanuel. It's great to have you here. We want you to know that you are loved and there's a purpose for your life.
Today, we will talk about why I left a Big Four firm in accounting quite a few years ago. I was supposed to be there for a 5-year contract and I left after 2 years.
Exactly. So when I met Kayleigh the first time, our first conversation actually, I asked her what she's doing, and she told me, yeah, I just came out of finance, was there for 2.5 years, and now I'm doing this. And
now I'm in the fitness industry.
Yeah, I'm in the fitness industry. And I thought to myself, like, oh my goodness, she must be 28. Like,
yeah.
I basically ruled her out from potentially being interested. Soon she then told me that, no, she's actually, how old you were, 23 at that point, 22.
Did I ask you how old you were first? One of us, we did ask each other. Because I also thought he was old. I thought he was also 30.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Anyway, so I think Kayleigh has an interesting journey, and there's a lot of people that often ask her, why did you leave your job in finance? And I think that this journey and some nuances to it might be also really interesting for you guys to hear, maybe in your situation where you are right now, and maybe some thoughts that you might have about your job and or other aspects of your life.
Yeah.
So Kayleigh, tell us, why did you leave your job?
A number of reasons, and some were the reasons I had at the time for leaving, and some are reasons that I can now see looking back on what encouraged me to leave. And at the time, I had just finished my A-levels when I applied for an apprenticeship program at this Big Four firm, which would allow me to study for my ACA, which is the accredited accounting qualification that's internationally recognised and really very valuable qualification. And so I started studying for this, and it wasn't easy. It's not an easy qualification, but that was fine, I guess, because I knew it would be valuable. I think the bigger problem for me was that the work that I was actually doing didn't seem very challenging at the level I was at, and it also didn't seem to get much more challenging as the roles become more senior. And so that wasn't very encouraging for me, because I really did go in with the mindset of, okay, I'm probably going to be doing a lot of filing for the first year or two, and that's fine. I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to gain so much knowledge from other people and projects.
Oh, I thought you meant about all the files that you
No.
had to do.
Yeah,
maybe how to make good coffee.
I didn't make anyone coffee.
Okay.
But yeah, no, not from reading the files. That's okay. Yeah, not from reading the files, but just from, this idea. And it is true that when you're in an environment, you learn something. You learn a lot of things from people and being exposed to new things. So yes, I went in very, very open to do the worst work, the most boring work, and just move along. And I was fairly okay with that for a year, maybe a year and a half. But then at some point, I realised that I'm really not enjoying this work, and it's not very challenging. And along with that, the exams were really tough. I was not having a very easy time at home either because of my parents' situation. I wasn't getting a lot of sleep at all, and I was stressed constantly. So to now have exams, which I don't find that interesting, and I also don't, I'm also not performing at my best, it was really difficult. And I knew that So I did the first section, which was the CFAB qualification, and then it came to the professional exams, and I knew I was not going to pass those exams. I just had no energy at all for them. And so, along with also not really finding the job fun, it was like, well, what am I doing then? Because, okay, maybe I do then get through the exams, but what next? Oh, I'm still going to be here. So I knew that this wasn't for the long term. And the one thing I did know that I loved is fitness, and I'd joined a gym there when I started the job, which was like my safe place, and I had friends there, and I was friends with all the PTs, and I had a really great PT as well who helped me loads, and I was getting really strong and making so much progress. So I had this part of my life where I could see fruitfulness and like flourishing and me getting stronger and better. And I just had this kind of light bulb one day, and I was like, I love fitness and I love training and I like helping people, so I should be a PT. And I was just so excited about it, and I really took hold of it. I thought, this is what I love to do, so I should go and do it, because I'm not having fun here and I'm also struggling with everything, so let me just move on. And I did ask for advice from friends and from my mentors in the company, and yeah, friends were like, is Kayleigh okay? Because I was really, I think I was just, I was really all in, like crazy talking, like, I'm gonna quit and I'm gonna go and be a PT. And you know, I was in this kind of mind frame where I wasn't really coming across as being very balanced or calm, but I was very excitable. And yeah, so everyone who
you can be excitable.
I can be excitable. So I was in an excitable frame of mind. And
I can imagine, yeah.
Yes. So I told my mentors, and they told me that I should finish my exams first, because I was 2.5 years in, and in another 2.5 years I'd be qualified, my salary would double, and maybe it'd be worth having it as a fallback. They were saying, you can be a PT anytime. And so actually I did, for about a month, I accepted that, and I thought, you know what, they're being smart, let me have a go, I'll do it. And then it just came to a point where I knew I wasn't being honest with myself. And I did take the exam anyway. I failed, and I was offered the chance to do it again, but I really did not want to. So yeah, I left from that point, and I went into actually being completely unemployed and doing nothing. Again, a longer story, but family situations meant I ended up not working for a long time, and that was really difficult. And yeah, financially that was a whole other challenge that came, but I was definitely initially happy to have left. And also, once I did finally get into fitness, I was so happy to be in the fitness industry, and I had such amazing experiences with the people I could meet, and also just being able to be like free and excitable, and it's such a fast-paced industry. So yeah, all the things I was hoping for from that, I was able to get. Yeah.
So how do you reconcile the following situation? Because I think a lot of us can be in a scenario where you're at work and you do something that might not be very interesting, or you find yourself repeating what you're doing, and you're not really pushing forward, you're not really learning new things, you're not really stretched. How did you know that this was somewhere where you had to leave? And when do you tell someone, no, I think you should stay?
Please, that's a difficult question. It's a very good question. I think for me, myself, I can't really explain why, but I had it was a very strong idea or direction in my mind, and also in my heart, and I believe God was telling me to go in that direction. For me to have been true to myself I knew that's the direction I had to go in, fitness. And if I did anything else, if I tried to explore or look into anything else, I was always being pulled back in this direction. So that was the question for me. Am I being honest with myself about where I should be? And I think that most of the time people do know what they're supposed to do. And if that is to explore different roles in the company, then, you know, start doing that, start doing something. But ultimately, as you're doing it, pay attention to whether these actions you're taking are being honest with what you really believe and feel in your heart, in your mind. Yeah. And of course, for those who want a relationship with God or have a relationship with God already, then talking to God, and any one of us can talk to God. I believe God wants to hear from all of us. I believe he made all of us. So always also then asking God to help. I believe he will.
And my second question is, if I was now in a position where I'm saying I'm actually not really passionate, I don't feel like I am where I'm supposed to be, and so I find something else I'm very passionate for, I go into the next role, and then I, in that role then, find myself after 3 months, actually, I'm not as passionate for this, or this was not what I was hoping for. There's another thing I'm really passionate about. How can I stop this being a cycle of where I'm just following kind of like feelings, and where I stop taking on some challenges I'm supposed to take on?
Yeah, that's also a good question. Well, relating back to when I was in finance, the attitude I went in with was, I'm willing to take some hits, I'm willing to do boring things, and I'm willing to try everything. I was all in, and I think that is what helped me also know that I was supposed to leave, because I was so willing to stay. I was genuinely open to doing everything and anything and seeing what I can take from it. So I think if you're going in to a job or an opportunity only thinking about am I passionate about it, then that's not so helpful, because your feelings will change. But if you go in thinking, okay, I feel pulled in this direction and I'm going to go in and take as much as I can, and there will be some ups and downs, I'm going to ride them out, then yeah, maybe you do ride them out, or maybe you do really hit a wall and you cannot go any further, you know. But if you go in, so to go in willing to try everything and to go through a few bumps.
Okay, so my last question is then, now looking back, do you feel like you made the right decision?
Yeah, I do. Okay. Absolutely do. I feel like my life would be very, very different had I stayed. Do I think it could have gone another way? I think it could have, but only with hindsight. And by that, it's because now looking back, I can see that there were some factors about home and about the stress I had, which also contributed to me feeling so down in general. And maybe some of that was overinflating the challenges I had at work. So I think that what I did was the right thing at that time, and also with what I knew. Maybe, again, relating to your question of how do you know whether it's time to leave, maybe if I'd had some different advice or different support in my life, maybe I would have ended up staying a bit longer. But ultimately, I wasn't passionate for that work, and I couldn't have seen myself there for years. So yeah, I'm very happy that I left when I did, and I'm very happy that I'm where I am now. God has really come through.
Amazing.
I don't know if I would have met you if I hadn't left.
Thank you for leaving.
You're welcome. Yeah. Pleasure.
I feel like this was my podcast. I enjoyed this. Thank you for being on my podcast.
Thanks for being a great interview. We didn't plan it as an interview. It worked so well.
Yeah, so thanks for being on my channel, Immanuel. Thank you, Kayleigh. I hope you enjoyed this, and please leave a like and subscribe if this was of any interest and if you want to see some more videos of that kind. Yeah, we do hope that this was somehow inspirational and that you could be encouraged by where you are at the moment. And again, as always, if you have any questions, if you'd like some encouragement, prayer, or talk about where you are right now, then reach out to us.
Yeah, thanks for listening. See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.